Right now, before the next bite of food reaches your mouth, there is something important you need to know because some of the foods people eat every single day are no longer as safe as they once seemed. And new research has quietly changed the rules without most people noticing. In the past year alone, scientists, doctors, and nutrition experts have updated their understanding of how certain everyday foods affect the body over time, and what they discovered is unsettling, especially for people who believe they are eating normally or even healthy. This video is not about fear or extreme diets, but about awareness, because a few common foods can slowly damage your heart, disrupt your hormones, weaken your metabolism, and increase disease risk without obvious warning signs. Many of these foods are still advertised as harmless, convenient, or even beneficial, yet the latest 2026 dietary science tells a very different story. In the next few minutes, you will learn about 7 specific foods that experts now urge people to rethink, foods that may look innocent on your plate but can quietly work against your long-term health. Some of these items are eaten at breakfast, some are quick snacks, and some are considered social or comfort foods, which is exactly why their impact is so easy to ignore. What makes this list important is that it is based on recent findings, not outdated advice, and it focuses on patterns that affect millions of people worldwide, not rare or extreme cases. As this video unfolds, you will begin to notice how small daily choices add up, how modern processing has changed what food does inside the body, and why certain ingredients trigger inflammation, blood sugar spikes, or cellular stress in ways that were not fully understood just a few years ago. Each food on this list reveals a hidden side that most labels do not explain, and by the end of this video you will see familiar meals in a completely new light. Staying until the end matters, because the final foods on this list are often the most surprising, and understanding them can help you make smarter decisions without giving up everything you enjoy. This is not about perfection, but about control, knowing what truly fuels your body and what slowly drains it. The more informed you are, the harder it becomes for misleading marketing and old myths to shape your habits. If health, energy, and longevity matter to you, this information is worth your full attention. Welcome to our channel, where we break down complex health topics into clear, simple truths you can actually use. And if you want more videos like this that help you protect your health with science-backed knowledge, make sure to subscribe now and stay connected for what's coming next. What people eat today is very different from what people ate even 30 years ago. And that difference is the reason this topic matters so much right now. Food is no longer just food. It is engineered, altered, packaged, flavored, preserved, and designed for speed and profit. As a result, many items that fill shelves and kitchens look normal but behave very differently inside the body. New dietary guidelines released in recent years are not trying to scare people. They are reacting to patterns seen across millions of lives. Rates of heart disease, diabetes, obesity, and chronic inflammation continue to rise, even among people who think they are eating reasonably well. Scientists began to notice that the issue was not only how much people eat, but what kind of foods dominate daily meals. Ultra-processed foods and high-sugar products show up again and again in studies linked to poor health outcomes. These foods are easy to overeat, hard for the body to process, and often low in real nutrition. That is why health authorities are now urging people to move away from heavily processed items and added sugars. The risk does not usually appear overnight. It builds quietly. Cells become stressed. Blood sugar becomes unstable. Blood vessels lose flexibility. Inflammation stays active longer than it should. Over time, this slow damage becomes disease. Understanding this shift is important, because many of the foods now considered risky were once promoted as harmless or even helpful. The science has changed, and ignoring it comes at a cost. One of the clearest examples of this shift is ultra-processed meats. These include foods like bacon, sausages, hot dogs, and deli meats that are cured, smoked, or preserved using chemical additives. They are designed to last longer, taste stronger, and cook faster. On the surface, they seem like an easy source of protein, but the way they are made changes how the body responds to them. Ultra-processed meats often contain nitrates, excess sodium, and artificial flavor compounds. When consumed regularly, these substances can damage the lining of blood vessels and increase oxidative stress in the body. Research has linked frequent intake of these meats to higher risk of heart disease because they raise bad cholesterol and contribute to plaque buildup in arteries. They also promote chronic inflammation, which is a root factor in many long-term illnesses. Inflammation is supposed to turn on briefly and then turn off. These meats keep it active. There is also strong concern about cancer risk, especially related to the digestive system. The preservatives and compounds formed during processing and high-heat cooking can interact with cells in harmful ways over time. This does not mean one serving causes disease. The danger lies in repetition. When ultra-processed meats become a regular part of breakfast, lunch, or dinner, the body is forced to handle a constant stream of stress signals. Over years, this burden adds up. That is why health experts now recommend limiting these meats as much as possible, not because they are instantly toxic, but because they quietly push the body toward imbalance. Another major concern comes from sugary drinks and soda. These beverages deliver large amounts of sugar in liquid form, which changes how the body processes it. Solid food slows digestion. Liquid sugar moves fast. When someone drinks soda, sweetened tea, energy drinks, or even some fruit-flavored beverages, sugar enters the bloodstream almost immediately. This causes a sharp spike in blood glucose levels. In response, the body releases a large amount of insulin to bring those levels down. Repeating this cycle day after day strains the system. Cells begin to respond less effectively to insulin, a condition known as insulin resistance. This is a major step toward type 2 diabetes. Sugary drinks also fail to trigger fullness signals. The brain does not register liquid calories the same way it registers solid food. As a result, people often consume extra calories without feeling satisfied. This contributes directly to weight gain and obesity. Beyond weight, high sugar intake fuels inflammation and increases fat storage around vital organs. This type of fat is especially dangerous because it interferes with normal metabolic function. Over time, frequent sugary drink consumption is linked to metabolic syndrome, a cluster of conditions that includes high blood pressure, abnormal cholesterol levels, and increased risk of heart disease. Even drinks marketed as refreshing or energizing can have these effects if sugar content is high. The issue is not just sweetness, but speed. Liquid sugar hits the body hard and fast, leaving damage behind long before hunger fades. Highly salted snacks present another serious issue that often goes unnoticed. Chips, crisps, salted crackers, and ready-made meals rely heavily on salt to boost flavor and preserve shelf life. Salt itself is not the enemy. The problem is excess and frequency. Many people consume far more sodium than the body can comfortably handle. When sodium intake stays high, the body retains more water to balance it. This increases blood volume, which raises blood pressure. High blood pressure forces the heart to work harder with every beat. Over time, this strain weakens the heart muscle and damages blood vessels. The damage makes arteries less flexible and more prone to blockage. Salty snacks are especially risky because they are easy to overeat. They are designed to encourage constant snacking, not mindful meals. The combination of salt, refined starch, and added fats creates a pattern where the body craves more even when it does not need it. Many ready meals also contain hidden sodium levels that far exceed daily recommendations. Eating these foods regularly keeps blood pressure elevated throughout the day, not just temporarily. This constant pressure increases the risk of stroke, heart attack, and kidney damage. The kidneys are forced to work overtime to filter excess sodium, which can reduce their function over years. Because these effects develop slowly, people often feel fine until serious damage has already occurred. That is why reducing highly salted snacks is now seen as a key step in protecting heart health. Preservative-heavy packaged foods are another category drawing growing concern. These foods include many boxed snacks, packaged baked goods, instant meals, and long shelf life treats. To maintain texture, color, flavor, and stability, manufacturers add chemical preservatives, emulsifiers, and stabilizers. While each additive may be approved in small amounts, the real issue is cumulative exposure. People rarely consume just one preservative. They consume many multiple times a day across different foods. Some preservatives interfere with gut bacteria balance. A healthy gut plays a major role in immunity, metabolism, and inflammation control. When gut balance is disrupted, the body becomes more prone to insulin resistance and chronic inflammation. Certain additives have also been linked to changes in how cells respond to insulin and how fat is stored. Over time, this increases diabetes risk. There are also concerns about how some preservatives interact with DNA and cellular repair processes. Long-term exposure may increase the likelihood of abnormal cell growth, which is why researchers continue to examine links between heavy consumption of preserved foods and cancer risk. Packaged snacks often appear harmless because they are convenient and familiar, but their chemical complexity makes them difficult for the body to process efficiently. Instead of providing nourishment, they create extra work for detox systems like the liver. When these systems are overloaded day after day, their efficiency drops. This allows toxins and inflammatory signals to linger longer than they should. The danger is subtle, not dramatic. There is no immediate pain or warning sign. The harm accumulates quietly, which is why these foods remain common despite growing scientific concern. Each of these food categories shares a common theme. They are designed for convenience, long shelf life, and strong taste, not for long-term health. The body evolved to handle whole foods that change slowly during digestion. Ultra-processed meats, sugary drinks, salty snacks, and preservative-heavy foods overwhelm natural systems with speed, chemicals, and excess. That is why modern dietary guidance now emphasizes reducing these items rather than simply counting calories. The focus has shifted from quantity to quality. Understanding this shift allows people to make better choices without extreme rules. Awareness changes behavior. Once the hidden effects of these foods become clear, it becomes easier to limit them and protect long-term health without feeling deprived. Refined grains and sugary breakfast foods sit at the center of many daily routines, and that is exactly why their impact deserves close attention. Refined carbohydrates are grains that have been stripped of their fiber, vitamins, and natural structure during processing. White bread, sweet breakfast cereals, pastries, waffles, pancakes, and many baked goods fall into this category. What remains after refining is starch that breaks down very quickly into sugar once it enters the body. When these foods are eaten, especially on an empty stomach in the morning, blood sugar rises fast. The body reacts by releasing a large amount of insulin to move that sugar out of the bloodstream. This sudden spike, followed by a sharp drop, creates a cycle of highs and lows that can affect energy, focus, and hunger within hours. Over time, repeated insulin spikes make cells less sensitive to insulin, forcing the body to produce more just to keep blood sugar stable. This process increases the risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. Refined grains also lack the fiber needed to slow digestion and support gut health. Without fiber, hunger returns quickly, leading to overeating later in the day. Many people feel tired or irritable mid-morning after a refined breakfast without understanding why. It is not a lack of willpower. It is a biological response. Sugary cereals and pastries also contain added sugars that further intensify this effect. Even items labeled as light or fortified can trigger the same response because the structure of the grain has already been broken down. The body treats these foods more like sugar than nourishment. Over years, this daily stress on blood sugar regulation contributes to weight gain, hormonal imbalance, and increased risk of heart disease. The danger is not dramatic, it is routine. That is why refined grains remain so widespread despite their long-term cost. Flavored dairy and sugary foods marketed as healthy add another layer to this problem. Many products appear beneficial because they are associated with protein, calcium, or natural ingredients. Flavored yogurts, drinkable yogurts, protein bars, granola bars, and snack packs often carry health-focused branding, yet a closer look at how they affect the body reveals a different picture. To improve taste and texture, manufacturers frequently add sugars, syrups, artificial sweeteners, and stabilizers. Some flavored yogurts contain as much sugar as dessert. Granola bars often combine refined grains, sweeteners, and oils in a way that spikes blood sugar while providing little lasting fullness. These foods create the illusion of balance while behaving like sweets inside the body. The added sugars contribute to insulin spikes and fat storage, while additives may disrupt gut bacteria and digestion. Many of these products are designed to be shelf-stable, which means they rely on preservatives and emulsifiers to maintain structure. Over time, regular consumption can increase inflammation and reduce metabolic flexibility. People choose these foods with good intentions, believing they are supporting their health, yet they may unknowingly reinforce the same cycles seen with sugary snacks. The issue is not dairy itself or occasional convenience foods. The issue is consistent exposure to hidden sugars and additives disguised as wellness. When these items become daily habits, they quietly work against the goals they promise to support. This disconnect between marketing and biology is one of the reasons dietary advice has shifted toward whole, minimally processed options rather than packaged solutions. Alcohol now occupies a very different place in modern dietary recommendations than it once did. For years, small amounts were often considered harmless or even beneficial. Recent evidence has changed that view. Alcohol is a toxin the body must prioritize removing. Even small amounts place stress on the liver, the organ responsible for detoxification. When alcohol enters the system, the liver shifts focus away from other metabolic tasks, including fat processing and blood sugar regulation. This disruption can contribute to fat buildup in the liver and increased insulin resistance over time. Alcohol also affects hormone balance, sleep quality, and inflammation levels. Regular intake, even at low levels, has been linked to higher risk of certain cancers, including those affecting the digestive tract and breast tissue. It can also weaken heart muscle function and raise blood pressure. Alcohol increases oxidative stress, damaging cells and interfering with repair processes. The body does not store alcohol for later use. It must be processed immediately, which creates metabolic strain. This strain becomes more significant with age as detox systems naturally slow. What makes alcohol especially concerning is its social normalization. Because it is widely accepted, its cumulative effects are often dismissed. Yet dietary guidance now reflects the reality that there is no completely safe level when it comes to long-term health. Reducing alcohol intake is increasingly seen as a protective step rather than a restrictive one. When all of these foods are viewed together, a clear pattern emerges. Ultra-processed meats introduce chemical stress and inflammation. Sugary drinks deliver fast sugar that overwhelms insulin control. Highly salted snacks strain the heart and blood vessels. Preservative-heavy packaged foods disrupt gut health and metabolic balance. Refined grains and sugary breakfasts destabilize blood sugar early in the day. Flavored dairy and health-branded snacks hide sugars and additives behind positive messaging. Alcohol adds toxic load and increases long-term disease risk even in small amounts. This awareness is not meant to create fear or guilt. It is meant to restore clarity. Food choices shape health slowly, not instantly. Understanding how these 7 categories affect the body allows people to adjust habits with intention rather than confusion. Smarter choices do not require perfection. They require knowledge. Essentially, everything shared in this video comes down to one simple idea. Awareness gives you power. The goal was never to scare you away from food, but to help you see it clearly so you can make choices that support your body instead of quietly working against it. The foods discussed today are common, familiar, and easy to overlook, which is why understanding them matters so much. Small changes, made consistently, can protect your energy, your heart, and your long-term health in ways that add up over time. And this is only half of the picture. In the next video, we will focus on what you can eat instead. Simple, realistic foods that nourish your body and fit into real life without extremes or confusion. If this video helped you see food differently, take a second to like it so more people can find it, share it with someone who might need this information, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss what's coming next. Your health journey starts with knowledge, and staying connected here is one of the easiest steps you can take today.